do they signal here that the president's signing?
Yeah, this is live, so the details are still kind of coming in. But as you mentioned, these are related to health. Now, one is about speeding up domestic manufacturing of like pharmaceutical drugs. This has kind of been an open question because remember that was one stream that Trump has been eyeing tariffs on, and it's been kind of unclear on when and how those will land. So he both signed this order today and hinted that they'll have some kind of announcement next week on drug pricing. The other one that you mentioned is about gain-of-function research. This has roots in the COVID pandemic. Remember, Trump has been pretty big on the question of that pandemic, starting with research in the lab in Wuhan, and this order, I guess, bans U.S. funding from going to any research project that's doing what's called gain-of-function research in China and other countries where the U.S. doesn't feel it would have appropriate oversight. Symbolic, certainly, to a certain extent, with Trump sort of musing today even that he doesn't think that the COVID pandemic would have happened were it not for this. Remember, they redid their entire White House COVID page to focus on the lab leak origin theory, or the data that points to that. So that's where he's been on this. He also met behind closed doors with the ballerina who was freed from Russia in one of the most recent prisoner swaps. So that's your rundown. Been a day, been an afternoon so far. But he did take a lot of questions at that event with Roger Goodell and Mayor Bowser here in Washington.
And Josh, tomorrow a busy day as well. Newly elected Prime Minister Mark Carney from Canada will also be at the White House. He essentially ran as a counter to some of President Trump's proposals. So what are you expecting there tomorrow?
There are a lot of open questions right now on trade between the two countries. I think that'll be in there. That'll be sort of the top focus on it. Remember, Canada and Mexico are not on those tariff regimes that almost every other country is on, that sort of baseline global tariff. So some questions are, will they continue to exempt USMCA goods? What does that renegotiation that's expected to sort of begin next year of USMCA look like? And are there things that could ratchet up? Remember, the thing that Trump announced over the weekend about trying to tariff movies, that would hit Canada as well. Howard Lutnick, just moments ago on Fox Business, sounding a pretty downbeat note about what he thinks will happen, said he thinks it's going to be an interesting event, kind of seems to suggest there'll be fireworks in this meeting. Prime Minister Carney really did get elected in many ways by sort of positioning himself as the one who could best counter Trump. He's, of course, a former governor of both the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England. And so he wants to sort of, come in and look like he's managing the relationship to some extent. But lots of these things hanging in the air, including auto tariffs and steel tariffs as well.